Welcome to the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur. My name is Rita Perez. Hello. I've been a travel advisor for over 10 years and am navigating this winding road of entrepreneurship with you. I created this podcast because I wanted to share all the things I've learned from leaders both in and out of our industry that I really wish I would have known way back then. But alas, the important thing is I'm aware of them now, and I want you to be too. Ready for this week's show? Let's jump in. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. As usual, I'm so happy that you're here. We have another stellar guest with us today, and her name is Sheila Folk. She is both travel advisor and a support solutions for us in the travel industry. She actually is the owner and founder of Travel Industry Solutions. So welcome, Sheila.
Thanks, Rita. Thanks so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
Yes,
I'm so glad I connected with you some time ago through Nexion.
I was going to say it's been, I know I just interviewed Angela recently and I'm like, yay, everything's like falling in line to connect with everybody again.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It was also so great to be at an in-person event. Mm-hmm. And I know, we don't live that far from each other.
Right.
Kind of weird, but when you're part of a host network, you start to get to know people. And then when you get to meet them in person, it's super fun. And of course, now we've started using your services in TIS and referring you to other advisors, which has been fantastic. So it's kind of all come full circle.
Yes. And I love it. And what you are doing, and this is something I want to touch on too, because you're doing amazing things with Travel Industry Solutions, helping people be legally legit in their businesses and giving them some sort of workflow to start off with. But I think the way that you connect with people is also like, and I say this in a really great way, it's like a sniperish, like very precise. And it's, I feel like people could take some things that you do to make your connections away to help them build their own travel businesses also.
Well, it's funny that you used that word, the sniper, because, we launched Travel Industry Solutions a little bit over a year ago, and obviously we've learned a lot about the product, and I've learned a lot about myself. And, when I first started this business, I really felt compelled to try to appeal to everybody. And I wasn't being true to myself.
Okay.
And it wasn't true to my approach with my travel agency and my clients. So as things evolved over time, I really found my voice and my message and what I stand for and what I believe in. And we've now brought that to light in TIS. Yes. And so our motto or our method is the no BS approach to a profitable travel business.
Yes.
And everything that I talk about is really succinct. It's to the point. I'm not a chit-chatty kind of person. Like I've never done really well in that cocktail type setting. I mean, yes, I can do it.
Right.
And I mix and mingle well, but I always feel this sense of cringe when I know I have to go do it. And then when I leave, it's kind of like taking your bra off at the end of the day.
Yes, it is.
It's like, you're like, freedom.
Yes. I feel you.
And so once I decided to lean into who I am, which is really germane to the solutions that I used in my own agency and then deployed in TIS, I found it really resonated with people. And, we don't have a lot of time on our hands these days.
Right.
It's like bananas. I mean, we are making changes for clients, and I find it refreshing from somebody who will just cut to the chase. Like, I need that because I am just too darn busy. And plus, I'm a widow and I have a daughter at home.
Mm-hmm.
And many of us are taking care of maybe elderly parents, or we're working another job. So they appreciate that as well.
Yeah. And you need to get to the things that are actually going to be producing results and kind of like leave the ones that are not. I guess a little bit cutting to the chase too. I remember one of our first conversations and I had asked you, so how did you get into the travel industry? And it wasn't particularly because you like travel. You just wanted to get into any business or some business, be a business owner.
Yeah. So I had spent almost 20 years in the corporate space or with a startup, primarily in hospitality verticals, whether it was for tech providers or hoteliers or DMCs or, other suppliers within that space. I did about a 5-year stint with a global nonprofit who has really been instrumental in changing the way that tone at the top is set in corporations. They dealt with fraud, ethics, corporate governance. So that gave me, So a lot of people don't know that 5-year stint led to the whole risk management piece of
I was going to say the gears are moving in my head now. It's making sense.
Yeah. So when my husband had passed away, I was still in the corporate world. I was with a startup. It was a former PR client of mine who started up a new company. And I was only supposed to work 10 hours a week. That's all I wanted. And it turned into this 80-hour-a-week job. And my daughter was with a nanny. And finally, I just went, there's got to be more to life than this. And my daughter needs me. So I was talking to a neighbor of mine in the driveway who had just retired from his finance career like 6 months prior. And he said, "Oh, I'm doing travel on the side. You would be really good at that." And I went, "Yeah, that sounds kind of fun." I said, "Can you make money at it from home? Can you set your own schedule? How difficult is it to get clients, et cetera, et cetera?" So I thought, what the heck? Let's go for it. I did not do it because I love travel. I do love travel. I didn't do it because I'm good at planning travel, even though I knew I was good. I didn't do it because my friends came to me to give them advice on Disney. I did it because it was a way to give me money and freedom. And that was it. So I pulled my mom out of retirement and I said, "Mom, we're going to do this."
Nice.
And she's now back in retirement, by the way.
Oh, good. Nice. Yeah. So so that is your travel advisor history. And how did Travel Industry Solutions come to be? And what exactly, for people who are brand new to you, what does TIS do and how does it help them?
Okay, so let's start with how TIS came to be. So when I first started in the industry, because I had a background in corporate organization, efficiency, marketing, a broad range of skills and experience, I was really shocked that this industry did not have resources to support the business of your business. And because I was always a business person, I went into this with a CEO mindset. And I looked at every facet of the operations and what it would take to get it profitable. And it was messy, to be quite honest. It was really, really messy. And those first 3 months, I was working like a dog. I'm telling you, 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it was a lot. And I thought, I just traded my six-figure salary for this. There's got to be a better way.
Right.
And so what I did was I quickly set out to develop systems and solutions of my own. The frustrating part was I didn't know how to book things or how to compare things. I felt like I was switching between technologies. I felt like my clients were asking the same questions over and over again. I felt like there was a better way to do this without requiring so much manpower. So I started really just by developing scripts. And I developed my own scripts. And at the same time, I started documenting what other travel advisors were saying in travel groups and what they were asking for.
Okay.
So I started keeping a list, and then I had a list of my client questions. And then I had my own thoughts about how I could improve the flow of my work so that it wasn't so person dependent. And then I started sharing them with the world. I was like, this is great. I mean, I started realizing gains in my time and my freedom. My clients were loving getting all these great reminders and whatnot. So I thought, great, this is working. So I started to continue to build processes. I did put legal protections in place very early on because, you know, I had that risk background. So that just seemed natural for any business owner to have that in place.
Right.
So over time, as more and more travel advisors started asking me for my method to my madness, and as it became recognized by suppliers, I started thinking, and that really wasn't until about 2 years in, this is needed. Nobody is solving this issue yet.
Right.
So in 2 years, we had grown our business to 8 million in revenue with the two of them. It was crazy. And it was exciting and it was rewarding. And one night I was talking to one of my independent contractors, and this is before COVID now, this idea came up. I said, there's a need. We should take legal contracts to the market, not templates, but we should take legal contracts to market. And I should also wrap in all of the tools, the scripts, the checklists, the touch points, everything else that I'm doing, and wrap it into one product. So I thought, how am I going to tackle the legal part? This could be a little challenging. I mean, we have hosted agents, we have non-hosted agents.
Right.
We have seller of travel laws,
which is a big one.
The biggie. We need to be compliant in all 50 states. So one of my best clients owns the only contract and compliance business in the banking world. He's had it 45 years.
Oh, wow.
And I became really close with the wife. We used to talk in the evenings over, they live in Georgia, and we would have wine and just chit chat and catch up. So I called them for advice, and they said, this is great. Not only is it great, but we want to become your partner.
Wow.
And we know how to do it. We know how to make it compliant. We know how to add value. So the warranty was Mark's idea.
Okay.
So because he warranties his product. So the difference in our legal side, let's just talk about that real quick, is when you go to an attorney, you pay an attorney.
Right.
They're licensed in a particular state, so they're writing it based on their law or U.S. contract law, and then they give you the agreement. Well, if you have a problem that crops up, they say, okay, well, pay me more money. What we do is, or if you have an update that's needed, they charge you again.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you have to stay on top of whatever those changing laws are and know to go back to your attorney. Now, some will provide that service, but a lot of them don't. So what makes our product so different is that we keep it up to date with changing laws. It does work for non-hosted and hosted agents.
Mm-hmm.
It is compliant in all 50 states, but we warranty our language. So we went to Chubb and we went through underwriting and had a custom policy written for our product that warranties our language.
That's incredible. I didn't even know this, having worked with you too.
Oh, you didn't know that? I thought you knew that.
I knew there was a warranty, but I didn't know like all the layers underneath that it went through there to make sure like you're really protected.
Yes. So that was his genius. But before we even invested in this product, I took it to Jackie. Mm-hmm. And I asked Jackie for her feedback because, she is such an amazing leader and she really believes in her agents and wants to support their ventures. And you know that firsthand.
Yes.
What do you think about this? And she was like, whoa, this is so. And these conversations happened before COVID blew up. Mm. So we worked with travel leaders and then we worked with the Internova legal team. And then we launched the product 10 months later. So, Travel Industry Solutions was born out of my own frustration as a travel advisor and then as an agency owner who began to grow my business. Mm-hmm. I used various methods to track the needs of the industry and my own needs, and then started to perfect a lot of the processes in my agency over a couple of years. Mm-hmm. We then went to market with those contracts and those tools, but then we took it another step further, which is we started to develop legal for all areas of your business. Mm-hmm. So, I can't tell you how many travel agents I see out there that have websites and they're collecting information from customers and they don't have a privacy policy in place.
That I was just going to ask, through like this past year, especially that you've been able to connect with people, what are some of the common downfall/pitfalls that you see amongst many of the people in the industry? Because one, they don't even know that they're missing something. And two, they don't know where to access the information.
Well, that's the big thing is I've come to realize whether you're new or you're seasoned, everybody has some sort of a hole. And I'm sure if somebody audited my processes in my agency, they might look for areas to improve, which is great. We like to hear feedback so we can continue to add to the product. But I would say website policies are huge outside of the obvious, not having terms and conditions.
Right.
People piecemealing that. Website policies are the biggest. Copyright infringement. Understanding what constitutes copyright infringement. Mm-hmm. So we have a guide that we're releasing when we deploy all of our new product over the next couple of weeks. We address the 4 common areas of copyright infringement and what you should pay attention to. And I noticed that just as really an observer. And another area is travel agents who are signing these group contracts on behalf of their customers.
Yes. That's a huge one.
That is huge.
That I was going to say, last year, I almost got into some big trouble, and thank goodness the supplier that I was working with, they were able to help me on my behalf, because it would have been like a 5-figure lawsuit type situation and now it was a very good learning opportunity also that I needed to have more protection in place.
those lessons that come out okay for us are just so wonderful to have because
Yes.
we know we're never going to make that mistake again.
No, I definitely will not. And I've been working to improve language and get all the contracts and agreements in place because nope, not doing that again.
Tell you one of the biggest, not the biggest, an eye opener for me, or a mistake I made really early on. And fortunately, it was for a friend, like, let's, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, was I booked a trip to Europe for the client. And, I knew that some hotels didn't have air and some do in certain areas. And so I made sure that this hotel had air. But what I didn't check was whether or not the hotel controlled the air or the client controlled the air in their room.
That is so interesting.
And it's more prevalent than you think to have the hotel control the air, especially in particular countries.
Okay.
But even popular like Amsterdam. Okay, you've got to be really careful. So the hotel decided it was cool enough outside to shut off the air. And my clients wanted air condition. So when I had my terms redone, I pointed that out to my attorney, was that we needed to have some sort of, language that wasn't like specifically like if the hotel controls the air, but all encompassing language that would account for that type of situation, that unforeseen event. And my clients were okay because they were friends. But when those little things crop up, you don't realize how important it is to have something in place that covers you. Right.
Yeah, because I feel that is the great basis of what you have with the contracts and agreements. And then it also resonates with the scripts that you have, which I also call them like email templates, because I think it is really covering all the bases in your customer process, your client process, the workflow.
Well, I will tell you, every time I show somebody my scripts, they're like, whoa. Those are really detailed. They're really long. Right. I've had customers call me prior to becoming a customer, and they've said, I've purchased product elsewhere and it wasn't exactly what I wanted or detailed enough. Before I buy your product, I'd like to see it. And I show it to them and they go, holy cow. And I'll tell you, the big thing that saved me a lot of time and gave me a lot more manpower was I quickly learned that if I set the stage up front with the customer from that, what I call my welcome email, which is the email I send out after they've booked. It includes their supplier confirmation, but I lay out what is going to happen next.
Yes.
So when I lay it out at the onset, one, I don't get a lot of the back and forth questions. I've eliminated that.
Yes.
Because they know what's coming. And then I also have that CYA language, which is that additional legal reinforcement, calling out some specific things like what is your responsibility as the client? What is my responsibility? How do you get this information? Where do you go? Blah, blah, blah. Here's a link to my terms and conditions. And then with all of the other follow-up reminders, what has happened is I don't have to touch that booking again unless I have to make a material change.
Right.
From the time that they book until the time that they travel. And it's interesting because one of the most common pieces of feedback that I get from my clients is, wow, you take the thinking out of it. I don't have to do anything because I know you're going to handle everything for me. And when I need to take action, I'm reminded. I have never, ever, and I do not understand this, I have never had an issue with collecting vinyl payments. Ever.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that too, because I've been recently hearing somebody talk about like sending out multiple quotes to somebody and then they don't book the travel. And I'm like, but you miss the important step of that there should be an agreement before you're even quoting travel.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely there should be an agreement, but I'm talking about like final payment reminders. I will see agents going, oh my God, the payment's due tomorrow and I can't get a hold of my client.
Yeah.
Little things like that, missteps along the way. And I know particularly as newer agents, we don't think about those things. But to your point, the boundaries
Yes.
in setting out multiple quotes. I do some private consulting, and I was talking to one of my clients yesterday. She has tremendous retention rate and referral rate, but she's working herself to the bone because she has no efficiencies in place. And she recently became a client. So I'm doing an audit of her systems. We're going to set everything up. And her biggest problem is she can't set boundaries. Now, she did start charging fees like I suggested that she do. And she has had no pushback. But what she hasn't yet done is set the boundaries. How many revisions you get, how many quotes I'm going to provide to you. Those types of things. And even if you're an agent who doesn't want to charge fees, you can still outline how you work.
Right. There can still be an agreement without monetary.
Absolutely. And so you know this because I had mentioned it to you earlier. So next week, barring any hiccups, because we've been working on this for a few months, we are doing a major deployment of new product, new enhancements. So currently we do have specific like subscription levels based on whether or not you're a solo advisor. You get the essential contracts plus all the scripts and tools and yada, yada, yada. If you own an agency with sub-agents, you get this set of documents. And then we have some single purchase products, like you can get the website policies, just those if you want, or a sub-agent agreement or a group leader agreement or whatever. All of that is changing.
Oh.
So as you know, we are preferred suppliers with 3 wonderful host agencies, Next Gen Outside Agents and Gifted Travel Network. And I do a substantial amount of training for their agents. And just last year, right before wave season, I did some public facing wave season training for everybody, in case you weren't part of that network. So in our deployment, we are now, if you are gold or higher, you're going to get every contract that we have. There will be no more single purchase products.
Wow. That's amazing.
So you'll get, there will be a difference between gold and platinum because the gold members don't need the sub-agent agreement or the company email policy.
Okay.
But you're going to get your website policies, your influencer agreements, everything. Plus, you still get all of our scripts and tools and checklists. But you will also get enhanced guidance. So we have been sitting on a crazy amount of guidance that we have been developing over the last year, how to reboot your agency, new to the travel industry, copyright infringement, qualifying your clients. So you're going to get the guidance, and we will start rolling out one new product per month.
Oh, wow.
So it'll be a combination of things depending on the month.
Mm-hmm.
So March will be our first month. March is going to focus on client onboarding. So your client has said yes. All right. So now what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about the what, who, why, and why you need it. How it can impact your bottom line, how it can help you develop better relationships, and then all of the steps that go along with it. What is, the complete process? What is the documentation that you need? We're going to have some video training. You're going to get a customer-facing document now that you're going to send to your client. It's visual. It says, hey, client, here's my 10-step process of working with me.
Mm-hmm.
So now your client knows what to expect in working with you. And we'll do one for people who charge fees and one for people who don't charge fees.
Okay.
We're going to give you tools to do a self-assessment. So let's assess where you have holes and where we can fill in the holes for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to be huge. So if you're not a member, we will have some free guidance and some free webinars. And then if you are a member, you get all of our solutions and you get the new product rollout. And finally, there's one more piece.
Oh my goodness. I'm like ready to ask questions about the stuff you just said. Ready to play bingo in your travel business? Did you even think you could play bingo in your travel business? The monthly bingo board is more than just having fun while working your business. It is a tool to help you stay focused and hold you accountable while taking the necessary actions to move your business forward. You can even enter to win special rewards when you achieve a bingo for the month. Join our travel bingo community by visiting the link in the show notes. We can't wait to cheer you on in success.
We have formed a partnership with Travel Industry Marketing Association, so TIMA.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you can opt, we will add one more member level called Platinum Plus. So you get all of the TIS solutions, plus you will get social media packs and pre-made newsletters.
Nice.
You get X number of credits per month, and you can either pick 30 days of social media, and you'll get, they provide Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the hashtags, all that good stuff. So you could choose the pack you want, and then you could choose a pre-made newsletter. Or if you want 2 pre-made newsletters, you can choose those. Or if you want 2 social packs, so you get a credit. It's like 2 credits, and you use them to purchase through their store. So there's a discount, obviously, off of what they charge commercially, and it's rolled up into your membership with us. Okay. So then we'll have when we push out materials to our customers, we'll have a web-based platform that will give you aggregated content from different sources like blog content material and things of that nature. So, and that's managed by TIMA and purchased through us. And then they're going to extend discounts. So if you need a website, you'll get a special discount for being a TIS member. If you want someone to, create some sort of a marketing campaign for you, they'll do it at a discount. So yeah, I don't want to go into the marketing space for me. I spent a bit of my career doing that. I'm over that. But I want to deliver a more complete solution.
Right.
And where we fall short or we have holes, I'm a big relationship person.
I was going to that. I wanted to touch on that too, but go ahead. Go ahead.
So I really believe in staying in your lane and utilizing providers who are
Same.
really, really good at what they do, so that I can focus on what I'm really good at delivering.
Right.
And so, like, you do all of our setup and implementation, and you're really exceptional at that. So why do I want to reinvent the wheel?
Right. Right. I wanted to touch on your relationship because I think that's what I feel like is like your sniper superpower that I think more people need to lean in on, in that you've been able to grow this support business because of the relationships that you've created. You were very active. I think that is a major difference too than some of the marketing methods that maybe we're being taught in creating the relationships. You didn't just post something on social media and wait for something to happen. You actually made those connections with the different leadership at the different host agencies, as well as the different technologies that you work with.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. We'll have a full integration with Trace Technologies. So yeah, Lee Rosen, he founded Client Base and Tram, sold it to Sabre, bought it back 10 years later. Now he's developing the cloud-based version, taking the best of those solutions. And I'm beta testing it now. Hopefully, by the end of this year, he'll have all of the features, but we'll have an integration with him. Awesome. And that's big, because then the customers of TIS will know that whatever document is in the system is the latest, or if we add a new product, whether it's a script or a tool, it's going to be deployed automatically in his CRM, which is really cool. He is the coolest guy. I mean, he really is. And I appreciate the fact that he took those 10 years off to really spend time with his kids before they went off to college. And now he's like, okay, I'm ready to go again.
Yeah.
But yeah, relationships are, don't you think they're important in every aspect of your life? I mean, even outside of your business. Sure. We grow our relationships every day, whether it's with our kids, our parents.
Right. And it's a very active thing. It's not that we wait for it to happen. It's kind of like, would you like to go to the playground today? Or let's play tic-tac-toe, or let's go to a restaurant. Let's talk about this business idea that we have, or whatever it may be. It's a very active part that needs to be played so that we can generate that business or cultivate whatever relationship it is.
Absolutely. And, people ask me all the time, what type of marketing did you use to grow your business so quickly? And, did you use lead magnets? Did you use social media? Did you do this? Did you do that? And I have my own distinct ideas about marketing. And I believe that you have to have an approach that is multifold, and each approach serves a purpose, whether it's visibility, branding, lead capture, building your authority. But I spent most of my time building relationships. And here's one of the topics that I'm going to roll out this year, is networking. Travel, a lot of people, not just travel agents, a lot of people network wrong.
Yep.
What they do is they join a group, or they go to the Better Business Bureau or whatever it is, and they immediately try to sell themselves. And
That's what I thought networking was before I like really dug in.
they pass out their business cards, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what they think it's about.
Right.
And it's not.
Nope.
It's about finding out how you can serve others.
Exactly.
How can you help them? How can you deepen your relationship? Because then the business will come.
Exactly.
And that's one piece. And the other piece is referral marketing,
Mm-hmm.
and doing that through your networking. You hear us talk a lot about building your client avatar.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody talks about building your referral avatar.
Yes. That that's actually one of the topics that I've been wanting to talk about.
Oh my God, we're so like-minded.
Yes.
You have to build a referral avatar. Yes. And what are their values? How does their style of business align with the activities that you do within your business? So, a financial manager or wealth manager, is a very service-oriented business, and their clients appreciate value. So you have to figure out who your referral avatar is, and then develop that relationship with your referral avatar. Don't shove your business card in their hand. Develop the relationship with your ideal referral avatar. And you should probably choose 3. Mm-hmm. Develop 3 avatars, because that then can lead to more business.
Right. Right. That's so another secret that's not so widely talked about, because I feel like a lot of the things that are widely talked about are like email, social media, your website, which are important in their own right. But if you don't have clients, that's I think what the main issue is that you need to have clients. So you need to do what's going to get them first, and sending out emails and posting is not going to get them first.
I tell you what, a friend of mine who's a travel agent, this guy, I'm going to have him on to do some sales training. He's a genius. And he does primarily mass market. Okay. So he does a little bit of premium and luxury, but his wheelhouse is mass market.
Okay.
And I mean, he can sell snow to an Eskimo.
Nice.
But he's a real great relationship builder. And he last year joined his local BNI chapter.
Okay.
And a lot of people join BNI. But what he has done so well since joining BNI is every week, because I'm friends with him on Facebook, he writes a really thoughtful post about somebody that he met in his BNI chapter. And, hey, if you're looking for somebody to come organize your home, I'm telling you, Rita does the best job ever. If you're really interested in working with Rita, because I believe in her so much, here's how you can reach her.
I love that.
Every week he posts something about somebody he's met in BNI. Do you know he's booked in the latter part of last year like $250,000 in referrals that he got from other BNI members.
Oh, that is genius. Oh, I'm even thinking, how do I use that for myself? Oh, I love that. And that's, someone that I follow, and she's one of my good friends too on LinkedIn. She did something very similar in December at the end of the year, where she featured different business owners that she's either collaborated with or just in her network, and doing something very similar. Like, this is Sheila, and she does really great at XYZ. And here's her contact information if you want to get a hold of her.
Yeah. There are lots of things you can do. I think I think the biggest issue that I see out there is everybody is looking for immediate gratification
Yes.
and they want it to happen quickly. But to be honest with you, if you're not first looking at your business like a business and setting it up right, then there's going to be a lot of hurdles that you have to overcome.
Right. There's the foundations.
You have to have the foundations, because I will tell you that before I started TIS, I was averaging about $4 million a year by myself, and working 30 hours a week. And at that time, I had quite a mix of clients, from $1,000 trips to $100,000 trips. But those were like, I got a $100,000 trip. You know what I mean? But I still wasn't working at hard anymore because I had all of these awesome systems. And now that I have TIS, as you know, because I've sent a client to you, I've had to pare down my client base, but I've learned a lot over the years too. And now I'm booking, like I told you today, I closed that Regent Suite for $150,000, and that's just one part of it. But I'm booking people who regularly spend $100,000 or more a year with me. So last year, that private jet trip that I booked for almost $1 million for 2 people for 10 days.
Yeah.
And last year, only working about 2 hours a week in my travel business.
And I would say that largely is, especially with the clientele that you're serving, because of all the systems that you have in place, they're able to trust you.
Trust. When you turn clients into invested partners, you have their deepest trust and loyalty. And, before we started this call, you and I were talking about that transition from the contemporary space into the premium to luxury space. And I will tell you that every client I had, no matter how large of a booking it was, I treated them like they were the Queen of England. And I serviced them the same exact way, because you don't know who is behind that. That 25-year-old Carnival cruiser could be the next CEO of Carnival. Right. That retired postmaster who books that $3,000 Carnival cruise or all-inclusive vacation with you twice a year might have a pretty sizable retirement and book a $50,000 multi-gen trip with you. So if you service them the right way and you have the systems to support it, you can scale, you can grow, then you can start to deepen those relationships and move those customers into higher priced products, or spend time networking the right way.
Right. Right. So how can people stay connected with you to get more of your BS-free travel business advice?
Well, if you want a badassier agency, then you can go to www.travelindustrysolutions.com. And you can also email me at hello@travelindustrysolutions.com. So it is the end of January. In about a week or so, we should have our new website deployed with all of the new product enhancements. And for our current members/subscribers, they don't have to do anything, because it's just going to appear in their account. But
awesome.
I'm really excited. I am just, it's been such a labor of love, and to hear the feedback, like, this is brilliant. Where have you been all my life? Or, I work a full-time job and I don't know how I'm going to manage my travel business. And you just gave me a complete roadmap with execution timelines, subject lines, everything is laid out, user guides. We even offer setup, as you know, setup and implementation services. So that's how they can reach us, travelindustrysolutions.com.
Yeah, it really is the fast pass to getting things like even more like tightly woven in your travel business, what you guys offer.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for having me today.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for being here, sharing some of your expertise. And how can they get on your email list? Can they just shoot you an email? Because I know you send out really great emails and bonus advice in there too.
Oh yeah, we do our weekly email content. It's short and sweet. I tried the whole newsletter thing in the beginning, where it was really long, and yeah, we get some great click-throughs, but I think now people want to digest things in chunks.
Right.
So I just cut to the chase with that no BS advice. Currently, you can go to our About page and go to the bottom and sign up for our newsletter. But throughout our news site, we will have more calls to action, which will be a lot more visible to sign up. Or if you want, just email me at hello@travelindustrysolutions.com and we'll add you to the list. That's monitored by everybody in the office. So one of us will grab it. And if you address it to me, they'll make sure I get it.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much, Sheila, for being on here. And listeners, thank you so much for taking some time out to listen onto this podcast. I'll put all the details that you need to reach out to Sheila into the show notes. You guys have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks for joining me on The Strategic Travel Entrepreneur. Please subscribe and leave the show a rating on your favorite podcast platform. Oh, and don't forget to take a look at the show notes for important information and links. See you next week.